and gentlemen, welcome to a MAHA walk with J.Beau. I'm going to do about five and a quarter miles, I'm guessing. It's a little raw today. So beautiful yesterday, and today is 37. A little cool. It rained. I'm gonna get more rain later. It's gonna rain off and on this week. Anyways, my friends, it's not snow, so it's all good. Northern Maine is supposed to get snow. We are not going to down here by the coast. Mid-coast. On the way back, I got to stop and get a few things at the supermarket. I'm going to get some soft drinks, some spices, nothing major. Nothing major, but necessary. Excuse me. So I'm basically taking a 5 and a quarter mile walk to the store is what I'm doing. Ooh, my hands are cold. I'm wearing gloves. I am wearing springtime gloves though, and I should have worn my warmer ones. So that's these ones, which are actually batting gloves. So we're going to take a left over here and walk where there's more traffic, because I have the camera on my head today. Not going to be doing a selfie stream, and I figure there are more interesting things to look at, like maybe certain kinds of cars. Maybe we'll see something happen. Who knows? I do know that there isn't a whole lot new to talk about. There was a ruling by the Supreme Court for Colorado having to do with conversion therapy. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of free speech, which is always good. What I'd like to see is the Supreme Court do some kind of ruling that states conversion therapy of turning gay kids into trans kids would be put to an end. That's what I'd like to see. Busy parking lot. Let's get out of here. Now, my brother is working in New Jersey. Told me that when he went to get gas, it was $3.79, and then when he went by later, not needing gas, it was $4.19. So that's a big jump in a matter of a couple, 3 hours. And right now we got $3.89. It's been $3.89 for a few days now. $3.79 for Smart Pay members at Cumberland Farms, but that's the most expensive gas around here, Cumberland Farms. Most other places it's $3.60, $3.75. So what they do is they jack their prices up 10 cents to get people to get a card membership so they can pay the price that everybody else has it for, which is really ridiculous, but apparently it works for them. They've been doing it for a while. So we'll keep an eye on the gas prices here to see if they spike like that. I did a search with Gas Buddy for New Jersey after he told me that. Didn't see any 419s anywhere, but most of the prices were 6 hours, day old. There were 2 that were an hour old, and the price really didn't change. So maybe it was the gas station he drove by. Maybe all the prices are going to go up. We'll wait and see. I'm not arguing it one way or the other, but I do know that there is not a supply problem in the United States. It is a 20% of the world's oil that goes elsewhere, and we rely on a global financial system. So whatever affects prices in the Hormuz Strait affects us, even though it doesn't affect our supply. So just because we financially are on world markets. In other words, when the Strait of Hormuz is open, the prices are going to drop pretty quickly because there's no supply problem. And that's just a fact, okay? It's a fact. Don't panic. Don't be a panican. I took a kind of an odd shortcut through here to avoid that intersection that I don't like. Let's get a right turn on red there, and people just don't pay attention pulling into the parking lot because they're not expecting to see anybody. So that just comes from experience of walking this route. So I hope you enjoyed our little excursion yesterday to the Beaver Dam. I'm walking in a different area today, obviously. And so that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. I like going to new places I've not seen. And because I've been walking, I'm finding a lot of places I didn't know existed. And you live right near them. That Beaver Dam was pretty much in our neighborhood. Isn't that strange? So my friends, latest reporting I see from the Trump administration is they stated that we're going to be winding down the Iran operations and be out of Iran shortly. I don't know how that helps negotiations with Iran by stating that. But I think they released that information just to calm the stock market and the oil markets. So it's a catch-22. You know, people get all upset at oil prices, and investors are like, oh my God, uncertainty. So you have to give them uncertainty, you have to give them certainty, but at the same time, you're taking away negotiation weight. Because you're saying, we're going to be done with this soon. That gives Iran pause to be a-holes about things, you know? But I trust the Trump administration to do the right thing. Strait of Hormuz is going to be open. That's not even a question. I don't even know why people are wondering or worried about it. Oh, they're going to be charging $1 and $2 million tolls, Iran will. No, they're not. That's not going to happen, guys. You know, this is Panicans speak. Influencers on social media that don't know shit from Shinola, trying to get clicks, get everybody stirred up. I'm telling you guys, just ignore that. It's noise, all right? You know, a lot of people are upset with Trump because he's not destroying the deep state. He is, okay? But here's the thing. Nobody with a sane mind thought that he would just be able to come in and clean everything up. It took 40, 50 years to create it. It's going to take a couple of presidential terms or more to get rid of it. They file lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit to stop anything he's doing. And I said we were going to see that on a level we have never seen before he was even sworn in. I told you guys that. Because that's common sense. That's not any special intuition I have. I'm not gifted with that. Just, you know, that's what they're going to do. They did it the last time. This time it'll be even worse, and it was. Perfect example. Trump's executive order defunding PBS and NPR. A federal judge today blocked the Trump administration from doing that. That's going to get overturned. President Trump has every authority to do that. But this is part of the obstruct, resist, delay. Try to limit the damage as much as possible until Trump's gone. That's the tactic they used in his first term. And they were given a great gift of the COVID pandemic on top of that. So I have no doubts everybody is going to feel how wonderful this economy is. I was checking all the economic indicators today. Everything's good. The indicators are showing wages going up for Americans. The average service worker saved about $1,000 to $1,300 a year on the no tax on tips for the first $23,000 they earn, I believe. So people are happy about that. That's why Trump's approval is around 50 to 52% right now, when it was 42% a couple months ago. They approve of what he's doing in Iran. So he's doing good things, and he's being rewarded for that. So don't worry about all this noise, okay? And you're going to see a lot of YouGov, AP, Washington Post, New York polls, fake polls, okay? Ignore those too. Trump is not having a 32% approval. That's propaganda. aka bull crap. I'll say it again, it's bull crap. Now, my brother Jim was not entirely happy with the tax stuff, but he makes more money than your average person. So it fluctuates depending on how much you earn. It's designed to specifically help the lower income earners. And that changes as you climb up the ladder tier. If you're a small business owner, you're getting a good tax break right now, which is much needed for small business. Deregulation too. So those are all really big deals for the economy. And the other problem with people's taxes in Maine is Maine is in the top 5 income tax. So a lot of people end up owing the state money. So it's up to people to figure that out. All right, now my hands are starting to warm up. I just felt that warm rush of blood into my extremities. I've explained to you how blood vessels expand while you're walking. That's why I don't wear rings. I don't wear rings when I'm walking because my fingers swell. Everybody's does when you exercise. So I gotta say, yesterday's walk was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. And I want to go back to that spot. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, it's yesterday, March 30th walk. It was 6 miles. But I edited about 20 minutes out of it or more. Probably closer to half an hour. And we then did the beaver dam, 2 beaver dams actually. I just thought it was interesting how they made themselves a secondary dam to pool up water so they could have their own little oasis to swim in. And they help the whole ecosystem. Beavers create whole ecosystems. They dam up an area, it floods in. That creates an area for fish, waterfowl, plant life. It creates fertile ground for pussy willows, which they like to eat. They're strictly herbivores. So creates life and nutrients for other animals. It's pretty amazing. It's almost like everything was planned out. There, now my fingers are warm. So I caught some of Pete Hegseth's Operation Epic Fury rundown today, and things are going good. But regardless, the Strait of Hormuz is going to be opened. I have no doubts about that. From the press conference today, the military was prepared for that. They were well aware. That would be a strategic importance. Which again, people leaking to the media, anonymous sources. It's an issue we're going to have to deal with. So, shrug it off and ignore it. Talking about the boots on the ground commentary. Trump was asked about boots on the ground a month ago when this started. And he goes, I'm not going to rule that out, you know. Depends on situations on the ground, things that might change. Comes with the package. I'm not going to rule that out. In other words, I'm not going to say something they're going to use against me later. And it's going to be strategic, like that island of Kagi. Whoa. Parking lot is absolutely full outside the Bates College ice hockey rink. What the hell this cavalcade's all about over here. what the hell's going on over there today. Girls lacrosse, you can see that. They're doing exercise workouts. Parking lot at the ice arena is full. I faintly hear music playing in the background. I don't know. Today is damp. The damp. So I saw one guy online, tall fella, probably somewhere around 35 years old maybe. He had been 50 pounds overweight, changed his diet, he cut out pasta, chocolate, junk foods, started eating blueberries, berries, chicken, rice, homemade stuff. And that son of a bitch has lost 50 pounds. And he walks about 5 miles a day like I do. And I got the same results. So, this is of great benefit for people. If you're really serious about losing weight, just change your diet to real food. Everybody thinks real food costs more. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Nowadays, you're paying more for the garbage. Bananas are 20 cents a piece. Everybody loves bananas. Apples, $5 a bag generally, or less. Salads, lettuce is cheap. Tomatoes are cheap. Some people even make their own salad dressings from olive oil and spices in it. So the bad things are pasta. A lot of pasta. If you eat a lot of pasta, it's not good. I have pasta about once a month. I don't give up the stuff I like eating. I just don't eat it all the time. I don't eat bread Now, homemade bread, that would be different. The processed chemical bread is garbage. That makes you fat, clogs your arteries. It's really bad stuff because it's not bread. It's soft, chewy stuff. People want moist, bread tasting stuff. Real bread is good. So it comes down to what's more important to you: eating chemicals or not having a fat rear end and not clogging your arteries. So walking is beneficial even if you don't give up the real food, the junk food. Exercise is always good in a regular routine. You can't just go for a walk one day and say, okay, I exercised, I'm good, and expect results. It has to build up with a routine. Even if it's just 3 days a week, 4 days a week. You'll notice the benefits. But the best thing, and the fastest benefits, is cutting your diet to real food and not going on a diet. I repeat, I do not starve myself. I eat like I want to eat. I just eat real food. That's it. No big magic secret. Just walk and eat real food. You'll see the benefits. Started seeing it a couple months after I started that. Bowel movements became more normal. So now they are normal. Got less headaches. Blood pressure came down on its own. Also, cured insomnia for me. So it was either the daily walking that helped the insomnia, or cutting out the processed foods. I can't really tell you which one, because I did both at the same time basically. But there were times I'd be awake for 48 hours. I just could not sleep. I'd lay there, toss and turn, stare at the ceiling. Just could not fall asleep. Now I sleep. I fall asleep within 5 minutes of hitting the pillow. And I'll wake up maybe once or twice during the night to use the restroom. Usually when I have a dream, then I fall right back asleep. So in the old days, if I woke up while I was sleeping, I was up. So I'm just sharing this with you as a Make America Healthy Again info, a benefit, instead of Googling it. I can verify it's true through personal experience. So it's worth pursuing if that's what you're looking for. And of course, if you're older and you have pre-existing health issues, consult your doctor first. I'd hate to get you to start exercising and something happens to you because I said so, and you shouldn't have been doing that. So please do that. Or at the very least, be aware of the risk. And don't get mad at me for it. So we're going to march on. What was that noise? So we're going to use the public restroom up ahead. It's like somebody's getting rid of this tree finally. That'd probably be some good firewood. Might be where it's going. Been dead for a while. I'm glad we're getting some rain. It's really important. Something we did not get a whole lot of last year. According to the forecasting I've seen, April looks pretty wet. And April starts tomorrow. We're going to have April 1st, April Fools tomorrow. Passover is tomorrow. And tomorrow night at 10:12 p.m. will be the peak of the pink moon. We also have a full moon tomorrow. So the potential for a crazy day. This is Holy Week this week, by the way, with Palm Sunday, day before yesterday, kicking off Holy Week. All right, we'll go use the public restroom. As the ground begins to go back to normal, sort of, we shall be right out. All right, guys and gals. Put a new battery in. After surviving the public restroom. A pretty nice playground. Things to climb up, stairs, things you could swing on, chain ladder, well, step ladder with chains. That's all right. That is okay, my friends. All right, well, it's safe to assume that the snow is pretty much all gone, except for where they plowed heavy amounts of it into piles. Donated by the Androscoggin Valley Board of Realtors. Important information right there. glad we stopped to look at it. Oh, somebody up here is ready for Easter. They have their eggs up. Now, usually that building that I record all those decorations outside of, they had that fire. So they had a fire, so they're not having any decorations. They always would have like Easter bunnies and things like that, and I'm sure they're in the middle of an insurance claim, which they're probably going to be denied for, unfortunately. Can't really blame the insurance company on that one. And if they do get insurance again, it's going to have to stipulate they can't do that anymore. So it's really too bad. It's too bad. That was a nice thing. I don't know what to do to remedy that. I mean, technically, you have to understand why the insurance company doesn't want to pay. We don't even know what caused it. We're just assuming. But they're not doing any more decorating. So, I mean, sometimes 2 + 2 is 4. Unless you're in 1984. Hope you understand the reference. Some kids on bikes here, so I'll get off the sidewalk and I'll put myself in danger so kids can be safe on the sidewalks. Because the normal reaction would be they would swerve into this lane even though it's a bike lane. Oh. Always safety first for the kids. Boy, I gotta tell you guys, I feel really good. I feel really good. See, that's what I mean, a little bit of snow left here. Just a smidge. After this week coming up, I think it'll be safe to store the snowblower or the snow thrower, whatever you wish to call it. The auger-bitted thingy-majiggy that spins and shoots the snow out. And not gonna forget my damn bananas today. Those are really good after a walk because a lot of potassium. A lot of potassium in bananas. Very good for your muscles, blood pressure, all kinds of things. Potassium is essential for blood pressure. You get a lot of potassium in tomatoes, milk, bananas. My cheeks feel a little cold. It's definitely raw today, raw and chilly. So anyways, President Trump approved through the blockade of Cuba an oil tanker just because Cuban people need fuel. It's a humanitarian thing. It's not enough for the government to supply everything they need to, and I'm sure the government's going to steal it from the people anyway. But it was made very clear to the leadership in Cuba that that was for humanitarian purposes and not you guys. But I don't think it matters to them, you know. I don't think they care about that stuff. So right now we're going to walk down the street. I rarely walk down just because I know I'm going to have my 5 miles. Cross over here, so I have traffic coming towards. Now you'll see one side of the street there's no snow, and the other side there is snow. That's because that side right there gets the most shade during the day, and the sun hits on this side of the street more because there was equal amounts of snow on each side in the middle of winter. I know because I noticed those things. So these would actually be the sides of the trees that had moss on them in the woods, mold, so you could find which way is north. There's some mold on the back side of that rock. I don't got much mold going on right now. Not mold, but moss, because it's still cold. It's still cold, dadgumma. But we're going to see some up here. You'll see what I mean. These are all things you can look for out in the woods. So I don't know if you can see it, but this tree right here, on the halves of the branches and on the back side of the tree is moss, and you can see old moss on this tree. It's all dried up, flaky, and looks gray, but you can see that it's all on one side of the tree right there. So sun sets in the west, north is that way, so it's kind of easy to figure that out if you're out in the woods. I don't know much, but that's a handful of the few things I do know. I don't want to sound like a friggin' know-it-all. People that try to sound like know-it-alls more often than not know the least. I just think it's cool. It's also something I learned from the JCs when we had survival courses and gun safety when I was like 12, I think, 11 or 12. And we used BB guns. We didn't use real firearms, but learned CPR, how to apply a tourniquet, learned how to make lean-tos, how to make shelters out of pine boughs, how to make a fire, things like that. We watched films on the correct way to climb over a fence with a firearm when you're hunting with somebody. There's been a lot of accidents where people stumble climbing over the fence and they accidentally shoot themselves or someone else. Had a little first aid kit pouch that was Hunter Orange. Remember that? Would not surprise me if I still have that in the attic, actually. Oh, we got a robin on the lawn. The robins are robining. If you're wondering why the tires on that car were so loud, they have the snow tire steel studs in the tires, which do help with traction in the wintertime. People run in here. Oh, we got the girls here. All right, we'll walk down this way. We'll stay out of the way. Hey.
What's up?
Girl was actually yawning while she was running. That's hilarious. She was yawning while she was running. Bates College student. I'd like to think it's because she was up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning studying for an exam. But you never know these days.
Time, 1 hour, 2 minutes, 22 seconds.
3.5 miles, 1 hour and 22 minutes. Not my best time. La-di-da-di-da. So we'll finish out this raw, damp, chilly walk today. Very happy with what Mike Johnson did, criticizing the Senate for passing that ridiculous crap just so they could get out of town for Easter break. I am so disgusted with the Senate. Absolutely disgusted. Oh, look at this big pile of cardboard here. That's ready to be recycled. Hey. Always salute the flag when I come by here. Whew. Cut across here. All right, guys, I don't have to walk on this side, the unsafe side this week. The snow has melted enough for me to walk on this side. I have an area to walk on the side. That makes me happy. Everything is dead and brown. Dead and brown. Brown. So we'll walk up this way, up to the supermarket. I'll have my 5 miles in. Then I gotta pause my app while I shop, because all that does is standing around looking at something you're gonna buy, it adds to your time and it reduces your fitness measurement in the app. It'll say I did not get as good a cardio workout as I know I did. And then I'll restart it when I come out of the store and head back to the ranch. So I still got plenty of walking left to do, but I will end the video with you guys up ahead when I get to the store. Alright, having a good walk today. This is nice. Actually having a good workout today. It's chilly, cool and damp, but I got a sweat going. The chickens are out. They're outside chickening. They have those poles. Those poles are set up with wires that run down to the ends of the fence. That is to keep predator birds out. Looks like some kind of netting probably too. Can't really tell from here optically. But they're called chicken hawks for a reason. Now I have not seen those deer over here. I have not seen them back. Now, in fairness, you usually see those early in the morning or at dusk. So, but this is where we saw that pool of blood out in the snow in the woods from a deer that got hit, which obviously it was hit, and it got up and walked off. So, I mean, they're pretty resilient. I saw a film clip online of a deer hopping over a spiked fence. Now, deer hop over fences. They jump pretty high, so they don't have to meander through a hole in the fence. That's why if you're around where deer are, I would recommend not putting, if you're gonna put like wrought iron style fencing with the spikes, those spikes are on there to prevent people from coming into your property, I get it. But if you're in a known deer path, they'll try to hop over that and they'll impale themselves. So I saw a video online where one of those spikes went right through the leg of a deer. He was hanging upside down by it. And this guy freed it, and when he freed it, that thing ran off. Probably fueled by adrenaline, but you could see the spike inside the deer's leg when he was moving it around. You could see it against the fur. So that definitely was an injury. And pretty much with deer, from what I read and what I've gathered from the Deer Trough, Danville, Maine Deer Pantry discussions about it, plus their website, is basically if it gets infected, they're pretty much done for. They'll get sepsis and they'll die. But if they don't get infected, most of those injuries will heal. So, and I guess that depends on how damp the weather is, how warm it is, and how clean the wound is. But it's much easier to get infected than people realize, and I know that firsthand because I almost lost my leg when I was 10. Just a simple scrape on the playground turned into a nightmare. So it wasn't good. So technically, before modern medicine, quote unquote, in the 70s, I would have died from that. That would have spread into my abdomen and organ failure, and I would have died. So that's just a fact of it. That's how easy it is to get infected. And then we've seen those like really bad ones. I remember this 22-year-old girl. She scraped her leg on a rope that had her kayak tied up. Just a simple scrape. And she got one of those terrible bacterial infections that antibiotics don't work on. And she ended up having her leg amputated. And it was spreading inside her body up to it, you know. So those things have been around longer than people have, the bacteria and stuff. They know how to survive. Very important to clean wounds as soon as you get one. Peroxide, rubbing alcohol, iodine, whatever, any kind of antiseptic, and putting an antibiotic cream on it. I have been very careful with injuries ever since. That is something you don't forget about. I was in the hospital for a while and after it started healing up, the worst part of it, I think, was they had to come in every day, and with a long Q-tip they had to break the wound open so the pus would come out, you know. And they were putting these packs on it, draining all what they could of that. Then I was getting penicillin. So it started healing up, but it was pretty bad. It was nasty. And I had been in bed for so long that I just thought I could get up and walk because I felt normal. As soon as I got up out of bed, I just fell right on the floor. I had to learn how to walk again. My leg muscles forgot how to walk. So I was in a wheelchair for 3 days. So, very interesting when things like that go south, and they go south quickly. So those first few minutes when you get a cut, you got to take care of that. Anyways, my friends, I'm going to end this conversation now. I'm not going to take the camera off my head. I get my stuff I need. I want to thank you very much for walking with me today. MAHA walking. Say a prayer for President Trump and the country and the people of Iran. And we got some interesting things coming up this year. God bless you guys, and thank you for making America healthy again. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.